What's up, y'all? We're back again at the Miss Mac Show, and this time I have the gorgeous Miss Brittani with me. She is an author. Do you do anything else? I didn't get to ask you that part.
I'm actually an attorney also.
Oh, I did know
So
that.
I practice NFL disability and personal injury. A little bit of probate and guardianship here and there. And I have a women's empowerment organization, which I guess that's not employment, and then Window Seat, the book.
Okay, so you do a lot of things. All right, I see that. Black girl magic. I love it. And so, where were you born at? Tell me a little bit about your background and everything.
Okay, so originally I'm from Houston. I moved to Louisiana in the 5th grade. So I grew up in Louisiana, went to college in Lafayette, Louisiana at UL. Most people, well, not most people, but a lot of people probably know it by USL. It changed to ULL. And then after graduating from UL, I moved back to Houston in 2011. So I've been here ever since.
Okay, which one do you like better, Houston or Louisiana?
I mean, they're both completely different. I probably would like live in Houston any day over a small town, but I mean, they're both nice. I enjoy them both. So.
Okay, so you tell me you like to eat. So what's your best place in Houston to eat then?
The best place in Houston to eat. So like, I don't really know a lot of Houston places to eat, right? But in Houston, they do have good pizza. So I go to Luigi's. I think that's like, anybody can debate me on it. That's like the best pizza in Houston. And then what other good places in Houston? Breakfast Club is good.
Okay.
Alley Cat, they have, I guess it's probably the same food from Breakfast Club there. It's pretty good. So those are Houston places.
Houston places. Okay, what about your top place overall that you would recommend anybody that they need to try one day?
Ooh, that's tough. Top place overall. Does it have to be like a sit-down meal?
No, it could be
like junk food.
Shoot, it could be junk food. Put somebody on something new.
So I have two. So my top two places, if you're not from Houston, that you have to go to would be Tiff Treats. I know that's an Austin thing, but I mean, it's in Houston. And then, I have three. And then Shipley's on Ella.
Okay,
That's like the best Shipley's donuts in Houston.
Oh, donuts.
But the one on Ella, like it's like 610 in Ella. You have to go there. And then Torchy's tacos are really good too.
Torchy's tacos. How much are they tacos?
Like $3.
See, I can't do it. Tacos should be like $1 or $1.50.
Well, Brothers Tacos is really good too, and they're like $1.25.
Okay, I'll do the $1.25. I'll do like in California, you see like the $1.50.
Right.
Coming here, you start seeing the $2.50, $3, and just like that's.
But
like
see, they're smaller in Cali because I lived in Cali for a few months, and they took me to get tacos, and they were literally like this big, and I was like, "Where's the rest of it?"
I feel it.
But I guess that's everything's bigger in Texas, right?
Yeah.
So.
I don't know about that. No, I'm just kidding. Definitely. All right, well, let's go into school. What did you major in that got you like interested in like writing a book as well as being an attorney? And
So actually, my undergraduate degree is in public relations.
Okay.
So it really has nothing to do with the practice of law or really writing either, or it's a different form of writing to an extent. But I knew in elementary that I wanted to be a lawyer. So I would tell everybody, like, I'm going to be an attorney. And that was in elementary school. Then I went to UL, got my bachelor's in public relations, minor in communications. And then once I moved to Houston, I was like, I worked for a little while. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this whole law school thing. The book writing, really the book was like a journal that I started. And so it was literally just me venting and like prayers that I would write out. And so eventually I got to the point where it was like I started to create these challenges for myself, like, okay, this entire week I'm gonna live by, this word, like, for example, gratitude. I'm gonna live my entire week by gratitude. And so when I started to see that change my life based on situations I was in and make things better. Whenever people would ask me for advice, I would tell them, to try things like that. So at that point, when I started to see it working for other people as well, I was like, okay, maybe this journal could be a book. And then maybe not just your average book, but more of a guide.
Okay.
So,
That's interesting. So, what were some of the going through college? What were some of the challenges you faced in staying focused? And college isn't always easy. Like something you have to balance. Your personal life. You want to party sometime and hang out. Plus, school and keeping like your grades maintained. What were some of the challenges? How did you get through it?
so for me, for college, I'm not even gonna, honestly, I don't even remember how I got through college. I just know I got through college, right? But I could probably, I guess that comes a little bit more home for me when it comes to law school, because it took a lot of discipline. So I don't know that I was as disciplined in undergrad as I was forced to be in law school. So with anything as far as like getting through, because you want to party, you want to do this, you want to do that, I would say prioritizing and being disciplined, because you have to know, like, once you create that end goal, it's just like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and I have to do everything that it's going to take to get there. So discipline is a big one for me.
Okay.
Organization, skills would be a close second.
Okay. Got it. So you heard that, you guys. Organized, discipline. Remember, but you could do it. It's never too late.
A plane in the middle is very uncomfortable most times. And most people, when they get on the plane, they want a window seat or an aisle seat. So that's how a window seat title came about, because it's like you're in this middle transitional phase in your life, and you're watching all these people around you, and you're looking over people's shoulders trying to look out of their window. And so now you're probably comparing your life to other people, and negative feelings or depression or jealousy and things can come from that. But the book specifically gives encouragement and motivation on how to embrace where you are and have a positive perspective on where you are.
Okay. What exactly inspired the book? I know you said it came from a journal originally, but what was like the exact moment where you're just like, okay, scratch that. What was the biggest impact you wanted this book to have?
So because when I started out, it wasn't a book, the biggest impact, or I think where it came from, was just what I was going through in my life. So like being in law school, you can't work your first year. So I had to move out of my apartment. I moved into my grandma's house, where the only room available was like literally a walk-in closet. So for 3 years, I slept in a walk-in closet on a cot. So you can only imagine like the frustration that I had going through that, where of course people around me were in apartments and doing their thing. And it's like, okay, I'm going to be smart about it though, because now I have this financial aid money. Instead of going out and getting an apartment, I'm going to keep saving my money. So now when it's time for us to start studying for the bar, now I have money and I'm not necessarily struggling anymore. Yeah, I'm still sleeping on the cot. Yeah, I still live in a walk-in closet, but I can eat. I can afford to pay my phone bill. So it was just a matter of having to know, like, what the end goal was and staying on track for it. So the frustration of my living situation is kind of where the book came from.
Okay. All right. What were the challenges of writing it? Was it ever, or getting it published, or?
So writing it probably took me about 3 years to actually write the book, because I would like write and then not write and write. So it was like a real on off again type thing.
Okay.
The publishing phase. So I had a great publisher. Her name's Catherine White.
Shout out Catherine.
Okay. With Sunny Smiles Publishing. So basically, I did like a phone consultation with her. I told her, the vibe of the book, my idea for the book, and I sent it over. She asked me to send it to her. I sent it to her. She was able to read through it, and then they just went to work. So I probably gave her everything she needed in November, and by February she was pretty much done. But then I slacked off, so the book was probably really ready to be released in April. And then I got to the point where I was like, I don't know if I want to do it.
What?
Exactly, that's what everybody said. I was like, I don't know. I don't think, because I just kind of got nervous about my own work, and like people reading it, like what are they going to think about it?
Your biggest critic.
Right. So I held on to the book from February until end of August, and finally released it in August.
Well, shoot, at least you had a build up.
Yeah, there was a build up. I had to get the nerves out, and then once I did it, it was just like, okay, I'm gonna do it because I just kept getting the feeling of like, what if there's something in the book that someone else needs to read? Like, what if they need this? So I didn't want to just sit on something like that.
Sit on a freaking blessing for someone else.
Right.
Really trying to save someone's life. What? Who was the first person to read the book?
Who was the first person to read the book? Ooh, I don't even know. I guess Catherine technically was the first person.
You never had like a friend or a relative?
I was that nervous. Like I would not let anyone read it.
Wow.
So literally before it went on the shelf, the only people that had read it was Catherine and myself. Like we were the only two people that read it.
What finally knocked that nerve? Like what did you have to tell yourself where you finally finally did it? What was it?
I didn't want to block somebody's blessing. Okay. It was like I could literally be sitting on someone's life changing, and it could be one line in the book that give the person that that they need. So
okay, so
everybody
has inspired you, low key, to finally.
Right.
That's amazing. Well, thank you. I'm gonna get my copy of it because.
Oh no, I have one for you.
Oh, thank you. I've been looking for a book to read too.
Yeah,
I've been looking. A copy. Yes. When do you see you guys? Can you see it? You can get your own because this is mine. No. Thank you. I'm definitely going to be reading that. So what's your biggest inspiration overall?
Biggest inspiration overall? My family. My husband is a really big inspiration to me just because his work ethic is like on 10,000 and I feel like we're teammates. So it's like, I'm not going to be a good Pippen to his Jordan if I'm not out here like getting it right. Yeah. So I strive to match his drive and like what he has going on. So it works.
That's amazing. Aww. That's like everyone's dream to have that Prince Charming that's just gonna be there and be like, yeah, babe, you got it. How long have you guys been married?
We've only been married 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah. Ooh, but we've been together for 5 years.
Okay, so y'all been married pretty much. But that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank
Shout
you.
out to her hubby. Thank you for keeping her going because we needed this from her. So Brittani, you have the Sassy Women's Network. How did you start that and what inspired you to start that?
So Sassy was inspired by negative stigmas and stereotypes. So everyone knows or hears that women are catty and they can't work together and all these horrible things about female relationships. And so Sassy was created to give women an outlet to kind of support each other. Okay. Well, I guess not kind of support each other, but to support each other and to uplift each other, provide encouragement, motivation, and then kind of host workshops and panels on taboo topics that we don't really like to talk about, especially in the women of color when it comes to things like health or maybe finances. It's something that we don't always address. You may have a friend or two that you open up to about it, but you don't necessarily always take it as serious as it should be. So a lot of our workshops and panels are around, those types of topics, self-defense, purpose, passion, goals, things like that. And then we have a series called She Applauds Her Sister. So in that, we do happy hours and we kind of do like this mass call on social media for any woman that has achieved anything in her life, whether it be I lost 2 pounds, whatever it is, it's great to you. You let us know, and then we do this happy hour in honor of those women and kind of celebrate them. And it also works for networking. Our latest or newest outlet is a directory that we'll be launching this fall where it's all women-owned businesses. So we're kind of in the process of still having businesses sign up, but the entire directory is women-owned businesses, and it's just our way of giving back and showing up to support each other.
Okay, I like that because everyone, I don't know, I dealt with some women and it does seem like a lot of women don't want to help to like the full potential because they're so busy focused on they don't want competition, or they feel like you're gonna beat them out. So what do you say about that? What advice would you give to someone who feel like they always have to compete how would you help them calm down and realize, like, we're all supposed to work together?
I mean, there's enough out here for all of us.
Okay.
So it's kind of like if men can do it and they aren't fighting over it and they can understand that it's enough, why can't we?
Okay.
I think there's a lot more to gain if we actually support each other, because now I can open up my network to whoever your network is, and your range and your span is going to be a lot broader, versus if you feel like you're competing against me, now you're never going to reach my people, because if you're competing against me and you give me negative vibes, am I really going to be excited to tell somebody else about you?
I feel you.
So I think that a lot of times I get questions of like, well, who's your demographic for Sassy? And it's like just women, like all of them. And they're like, yeah, but is it business women? Is it students? Like, who is it? It's everyone. I want the Michelle Obamas and the Tiffany Haddish. Like, I want all women to be a part of it, because it's not just a fun group to be a part of. It's a way of life. It's a network. Like, it's your life and your potential livelihood that, you're being a part of with Sassy.
I see. What is your future goals for Sassy? Where do you see it going within like the next 3 years?
So my goals for Sassy is I would love for it to be worldwide. I would love for it to be a household name.
Okay.
And in the next 3 years, just expansion.
Okay.
So probably a lot. Right now we're in Houston, but I've gotten a lot of phone calls and inquiries for people in Dallas and Austin, parts of Southwest Louisiana. So expansion.
Definitely. So are you traveling a lot right now?
Right. I mean, Houston's so big, I feel like I'm traveling. So a lot.
To get a hold of you. So you told me your schedule is packed. That's why I asked.
So for Sassy, a lot of it is still in Houston, but just in work and for the book, I am traveling a lot. So next week I'm gone. Yeah, you saw the schedule I sent you. It's pretty crazy. So I'm out a lot this fall.
Okay, I see you doing big things. Everyone look for you. Hear the name Brittani coming. It's going to be some amazing stuff behind it. So look out, coming to a city near you. All right, and I have one final question for you. What piece of advice can you give to the young Brittani now?
One piece of advice I would give to the young Brittani now would be use your voice. Use your voice and find your confidence. I think in a lot of women, even in myself, sometimes I found myself in situations where I'm not as confident as I should be. And then I talk to someone and they're like, no, but you're great at this. You can do it. And it's like, of course, sometimes all it takes is a little push from somebody else. But once you find that confidence within, it's a lot easier to use your voice. And not saying that you won't need the push, but now you're going to take a little bit more initiative. Okay. So use your voice and find your confidence. It's there.
I like that. Where can people find you? Where can they find you at personally on Instagram, social media, and where can we get your book at?
Personally on Instagram, you can find me at Attorney Hallie B on Instagram, and the book you can find on Amazon as well as bookhallieb.com.
bookhallieb.com, you guys. I want to see those sales go up. You guys need this book. Where can we find Sassy Network at?
Okay, so on Instagram, it's Sassy Women's Network on Instagram, and then we are also online at sassywomensnetwork.com.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much. Miss Mac Show, we are out. Brittani edition. What's up, you guys? We are here at the Miss Mac Show at the beautiful Hershey Tree Park in Houston. And today I have the beautiful, infamous Mia with me. She is a transgender entrepreneur here in Houston.
So I met my boyfriend, who is a trans man, so that's female to male, and he changed my perspective. He made me feel comfortable. When we went out in public, I didn't feel ashamed, or I wasn't worried about him being anxious of people could tell that I was trans, or people being able to identify me as that or whatever. I didn't have that weirdness, and I realized when we were in public, the only person I seen was him. Like, I didn't see anyone else in the room, and I was like, yeah, this rocks.